Alright, hello to all my guys, gals, and non-binary pals out there across the electrical ocean. This is Jazzman, and we are back with a game. We've got Karmavore playing split between Kathir Forest and Underdepths over here. And then Krezio, more like Krezio, right, playing a split between... Oh, he's not playing Full Faction Sunderlands this time. He's playing SLFW split. All right, Krezio, what have you got for us today? Karmavore has a Salmon Ninja contesting that mid and a Deep Elf Assassin. All right, so we're going to see some cheesy stealth action from Karmavore. It's always fun watching Karmavore play. He comes up with some really nutty decks, but just being by virtue of being a good player, he does surprisingly well with them. Salmon Ninja, I believe, was recently changed to being half Underdepths, which... I'm not sure of the logic behind. It was fine being full faction FS. But wait a minute. Speaking of Salmon Ninja, wait a minute. Hold on. I can click on these now. Yeah, FSUD. And so nice little addition by our dear Lord and Savior Slugbait. You can finally click on runes in the combat log again. Big thanks to Slugbait for reintroducing this. It's so nice that the combat log is regaining at least some of its prior functionality. But anyway, yeah, Salmon Ninja being half Underdepths, why? Like, why are we suddenly trying to boost the viability of that kind of split? But sure, well, I'll take it for granted. I'm not too active in the balance portion of the chat on Discord. Just I'll let the community sort things out and just be the mod that guides them from the shadows. So yeah. The assassin, I'm assuming, is floating down towards bot side, probably making its way towards that Spark Crone. Krezio actually wisely swapping out for the Vanguard in mid, just to keep the the Spark Crone as safe as possible. Spark Crone would be a really bad matchup into that ninja, but Messenger here for drive, and I'm assuming maybe we can anticipate an assassinate next turn. Because if I got to guess, like Karmavore deployed the assassin first turn to grab that font. So it's probably like around this river area. It doesn't have Shadow Shift as far as I'm aware on upgrades or anything. So it's probably either going to have to get a cloak, like a rogue cloak. God, what is that rogue equip called? Cloak, not Cloak of Shadows, is it? But yeah, the one that gives Shadow Shift to get over that water. Maybe it'll just go into that font and, hang around there and contest. But there's some pretty vulnerable targets here in the back line. And there's Krezio, is one of Krezio's favorite champions, the Morph. Just, cocoon and mutate to buff, crazy buffs, whatever champion stats Krezio wants to in the moment. It's usually like a Cricken Wing Alpha or a Vindrax. But since he's playing a split with Forsaken Waste, I have no idea what his deck is going to contain here. I've only ever seen him play Full Faction SL. Oh, there's the Assassin. Okay, so I was sort of right in that it was around this general area. So it just actually got in here. But yeah, Karmavore didn't really favor the font contest. He just wanted mid. Like and that's probably a better play, honestly. Because now, he could have gone for the contest, but it's SLFW. You probably have like Scouring Jasper, de-stealthing, and ruining your day. But now, and then yeah, Snog V. Krezio is known to run Snog Vs as well. But the Assassin is well out of harm's way. And here, Karmavore has some really solid control of mid. Krezio can go in for the stun, but KF, you could probably anticipate like an Emerald or something. Not really able to rely on that. So this is like a rogue split, isn't it? Yeah, because he's running the Honor Coin for Commander. Yeah, all of these champions are indeed rogues. Elven Shade, funny enough, I used to, I can't remember how long ago it was, but I did run Full Faction KF Rogues in one of Rorschach's tournaments that he had going. I got like halfway through before I was demolished by, funny enough, Underdepths Rogues. So KF Rogues could not beat their UD counterparts. But Elven Shade was just a menace back then. Really cheap Flash Bomb and then Harasser with combat awareness and stealth combo. But yeah, the split... I'm assuming that Alakami maybe took some direction from Karmavore in assigning the ninja this half faction here, because Karmavore is like a really top player, right? He probably knows. Him and Alakami were probably on the same wavelength here. They were probably thinking like maybe we could mesh together this fledgling theme somehow. But here, I mean, the swap could come out. He got new upgrades too. Man, I really got to keep up with the patch notes. I didn't realize that this thing got like hotfix implemented. Because I was looking at the patch notes on the Discord, and it was all like, okay, server fixes, client fixes, whatever. But I didn't realize they added this in, because it wasn't in the last balance notes, as far as I'm aware. Rascal Fairy 2, geez. And I can click on it, so we can see it's... oh, no, wait, we can't see its upgrades. Okay, well, it's a little bit of a shame, but it does have Shadow Spawn. So it comes in with Initiative Stealthed, and maybe this one's going bot, but I feel like if I know Karmavore, he's probably not too keen on rushing bot at this point, because he wants to regain that mid-font. And Krezio, of course, is directing all of his forces towards there as well. It'll be a while before we can see another Assassinate, although I'm thinking the Messenger here is pretty toast. Krezio is going to get a hit. Snogby is actually 1 AP off. He's going to have to burn some kind of a spell to get this kill. But I mean, it's possible. And if the Messenger goes down, not sure. What the hell are you doing? You're moving into... Okay, well, he's going for the Quicken on, I'm assuming, the Assassin because of easy target. Okay, well, then... all right, I mean, if he gets this kill, I don't hate it because, I mean, the Assassin is really the damage threat. And he does get the kill. Easy target really taking that thing to town. Globe is out of reach, but I feel like that Crone might just be dead here, because he can... Okay, so let's see if we can get, like, Calc. No, he's moving out of range. He can get a swap. Actually, what he can do is move the Messenger in for a double tap, like right here, right? For a 20, and then Salomon Ninja can actually swap for 1 after a drive. He's going to need a little more, actually. Half SL bonus. Then he can't... If he could get a double tap with the Ninja somehow. Okay, well, that's definitely not happening with the Mind Shackle on there. Karmavore could theoretically remove that with some damage spell, because Paralyze breaks on damage, and then get 1 hit. And then Messenger could get a double... If he could do, like, I don't know, a Thorn Collection or something to break that, and then damage the Spark Crone at the same time, we could maybe see a kill. But then, you know, Snogby is a pretty tempting target as well. It's just, I mean, Crone's damage potential is pretty absurd. When, what is that? Oh yeah, Initiative from the Vanguard. But yeah, Crone's damage potential is really absurd. You Surge Zeal damage, and then, you know, the usual spell set in SL with Quicken and stuff. But Shade could maybe try and get like a blind on the Morph, then rush that bottom font. Some healing going down. I guess Messenger is driving. Yeah, driving the Rascal Fairy. That's why we didn't see the animation go off. So Rascal Fairy has knockout. Now maybe we could get a knockout on the Morph. But there's the Spinal. Okay, so he is probably going for the knockout. The Spinal, of course, preventing the cleanse. Messenger staying pretty safe here. If the knockout comes down on the Morph, I don't really see Krezio getting a kill here, because the Spark Crone will be out of range. You could maybe get this, maybe get the Ninja, but then that sort of nullifies... I guess the Mind Shackle was like ensuring the kill in a delayed fashion. And if that's the case, like a second Quicken, I really don't doubt that Krezio is running 2 Quickens. He just seems like the type of player who runs 2. Like, you can get a read on people, right? If you play against them enough. Krezio is sort of like Ox Kill in that way. He tends to run a lot of really aggressive spells. So we will see. And yeah, the knockout did go down onto the Morph. So no Cocoon for the Impervious this turn. Which actually could have been a backup plan of Krezio's if he was eyeing a kill, or like a counter kill on his turn. So we got a couple paralyzed guys. The Curse also giving the debuff here. In speed and damage, which will hamper Krezio's kill pressure. So the new Ninja, I kind of want to check his new upgrade set now. And damn, what did I just say? Double Quicken for Krezio. Yep. So there's the second Quicken going down, and that is 1 dead Ninja. So I mean, he put a lot of Nora into it. The Mind Shackle plus I think Quicken is 40 Nora now. So that's like 75 Nora just to deal with the Ninja. What? Okay, yeah, he's killing with the Aura. Never mind. And, of course, the dot as well. So Krezio just conserving some AP. Defiling Spinal is kind of nutty, man. Like 30 Nora for 30 HP Relic in a font like Contest. Kind of a shame that Karmavore couldn't get it actually in the font, but still, like 30 HP for 30 Nora is crazy. Defile is kind of underrated in Forsaken Waste. FW has a lot of debuffs that you could put out. Like I could see running this thing in Witches, for example, just as like a good relic for a font situation. If you have like Cackling Witch for to prevent cleansing Awestruck and whatnot. So Karmavore actually a little bit behind now. I wouldn't think he would surrender in this position. He still has the Shade and the Rascal Fairy to rely on. Shade, of course, not being damaged by Deafening Aura or Sonic Aura, so Krezio will have to walk into him. Is he gonna get that globe? Come on, man, get that Nora globe. I don't see why he wouldn't. And then Crone, I guess, could maybe get that one because that's like, I don't know, that's like 25 Nora just sitting there, right? I bet he's thinking, man, is Karmavore going to contest my bot? Because bot side is completely open. Krezio would have to deploy a champion and then a relic to reclaim that. That's sort of the thing you want to focus on with stealth, right? As you want to harass fonts as much as possible. Karmavore did pretty well in the beginning, securing mid, but then the spells came down for Krezio and sort of equalized. I'm not sure why he'd run the Forsaken... Like, we haven't seen any Forsaken Waste runes from Krezio yet. So I'm wondering what that half of the deck is all about. I would expect some kind of like death benefit style, right? Because when you split with Forsaken Waste, that's sort of the thing, right? In SL, you can do some crazy stuff with like Blood Fiend and Forbidden Fruit, but he has not shown any inclination towards that yet. So there's the Shadow Master, and I mean, man, Shadow Master, I've always thought has so much potential to be an interesting rune. Like, he's, like, thematically, he's like this, like, assassin, like, rogue elf, right? Who's, like, completely focused on the stealth, but then, you know, his ability kit doesn't really lend to that. He's really cheap, which is nice, but he's basically, like, Cloak is kind of useless, Detection 1 is blech, and then Surge Shadows gives him damage, but, I mean, if you want a cheap beat stick... I guess he could be a lot more. Like, he could be like the centerpiece for a stealth deck, but he's really just kind of boring in my opinion. But there goes the Spinal, and Krezio actually showing the first of his Forsaken Waste champions, the Blood Tracker. I'm guessing this is what he wants to super champ with the morph and everything. Like, you could like I could see him cocooning this, mutating this a bunch, right? And then putting like Ferocity of Cane Terrace on this. But I mean, Sunderland's Angel just does a better job, right? If you want that, like, he's still not seeing the potential of the Forsaken Waste split. Maybe, like, what super FW doesn't have like many super champing options aside from like liches. But maybe he's doing some high warlock shenanigans with Ravish. So Krezio is actually cocooning the Shade. Now, I'm assuming he did this to try and keep Karmavore out of the font, but Karmavore does have his Rascal Fairy in there somewhere, as evidenced by the font, you know, still not being Krezio's. So it was a nice thought, but I think at this point, it's more likely the Shade will probably get, like, Escape Magic or something away from the fight. If not, it's still a decent play from Krezio, because he can ensure that at the start of his turn, the Shade will be out of Cocoon. Or at the start of Karmavore's turn, but then it'll still be on like 14 HP, you know. There's the Reaper's Blade. All right, I see it. So he's doing this kind of cheese as well. So Cocoon gives Impervious, of course, but then the Reaper's Blade just, you know, cuts through it. I don't think Morph is that good of a Reaper's Blade carrier. Just like her range is kind of short and she's really squishy, but she is ranged. And also you kind of want to use her AP on the support abilities rather than prioritizing attacks. I also wouldn't think Crone to be a good carrier of it either, just because like a lot of Krezio's champions just aren't really suited for using Reaper's Blade, because they have abilities that Reaper's Blade just sort of gets rid of, right? And okay, wait a minute. So we must have missed something, right? Because Karmavore is in this bottom font. I'm going to get so much hell for this in the comments. So he has a Rascal Fairy somewhere, right? I thought it was in this font. Oh yeah, here. Oh, I see. Okay, so Krezio ran into the Poison Quill Trap. I was like, man, Karmavore for sure has the Rascal in there too, but no, he actually snuck bot side while we weren't looking. The camera was like this, right? So I wouldn't see that. But yeah, Poison Quill in the mid. So Karmavore pulled a little bait and switch there on old Krezio, nabbing the bot, and that actually does force a Transfigure. I would say that's a little premature. I think Blood Tracker on his own can probably deal with a Rascal Fairy, assuming like Krezio uses Scythe Whirl properly. But Karmavore now going to be doing okay for himself. Like Krezio is down a font, he's down the shrine. And Karmavore is still sitting pretty with his Norigen, so he deploys another Rascal Fairy, whips that one into shape. That Poison Quill trap won't really last another turn in the font. Although honestly, at this point, like Krezio can just kind of ignore it and then go for the Shadow Master. Because as long as you stay out of the aura range, like it's 15 HP, you can take care of that with one Crone attack whenever you want. Just focus on the Shadow Master here. It's funny, Shadow Master himself doesn't actually have an ability to stealth. He stealths other friendly champions instead. So Karmavore going for the cloak, and this isn't too bad. Like with Shadow Master being as cheap as he is, you can probably justify a Cloak of Long Knives on there just to he's basically the cost of an actual champion now, and it does give him some nice harassing ability, Shadow Strike and such. So Rascal Fairy comes in. Oh, he's one. I was gonna say he's 1 HP short of the drive kill, but Transfiguring takes care of that. Shadow Master gathers the globe. Then, yeah, Karmavore's he's still looking pretty good, as long as he keeps that font contested. I really think Transfiguring here was the wrong move from Krezio, just because, it deprived him of the deployment zone. He could have deployed maybe a second Blood Tracker, any detection unit, like an actual detection champ if he's running that. But now, his avatar is kind of trapped by that bush, so what Karmavore can do is basically just sit like the Rascal Fairy over here, and as long as he gets lucky by staying out of Scythe Whirl range, he should be all right. And is that a tornado down in... No, he's actually tornadoing mid-font and didn't find the Shadow Master. Oh, man. Feels bad, man, from Krezio. So 40 Nora down the drain. And, you could get that globe, but... yeah, it's really not looking good. I guess he was hoping to find the Shadow Master and maybe do some more, get a kill there with the Crone and everything, but he did not get so lucky. Karmavore staying out of his reach, and yeah, now Blood Tracker is just kind of screwed. You can blind Scythe Whirl, but if you don't find the fairy, you're just going to get stalled out by knockout. And he's not even using his avatar to try and detect. See, I would not do it what Krezio is doing here. You need to, after you've transfigured like this, you need the font back. You're not going to be winning mid anytime soon, especially if you're backing off with the morph. So just move your Blood Tracker into the back here, and move your avatar near the front, because it's a 2x2, and you can find the champion easier that way. So you Scythe Whirl back here, and use your avatar to detect the fairy up front, and then you just eviscerating blow it, so it can't re-stealth. That's what I would do, but... I'm not as crazy as Krezio. So, I guess Rascal Fairy. Now, Rascal Fairy, unfortunately, yeah, and especially given the build that Karmavore is running, he has Shadow Spawn on his Rascals. So, if Krezio does find one of them, it can't re-stealth unless there is, a cloak or whatever. So, yeah, Karmavore is in a pretty dominant position now. Krezio kind of being forced to pull double duty with his champions, trying to regain his font and contest mid. But Karmavore puts the kibosh on that immediately with the Grimlock's Bane. And I think Shadow Master, I guess he didn't have enough AP to grab the globe. That's partly fine. There's no way Krezio throws the morph in there. You could probably throw in the avatar for a turn and grab that. But versus half underdepths, I'd be worried about Ret. He could easily Ret, I don't know, the fairy or something and get a kill. Because Karmavore's avatar is also in attack range, if Krezio runs in here to grab the globe. But all is good in the neighborhood for Karmavore. And he is running to the globe. He probably could, yeah, he can find the Shadow Master here, but I think Resistance saves him from the death. Ardain does not have enough AP to Vicious Blow. Vicious Blowing him into this, into the font would have been great. Which he actually could have done if he put down... I guess he could have detected with a spell, but at that point you'd have the kill regardless. a vicious blow or not. So I think Reaper's Blade, yeah, he's not even using the morph for Reaper's Blade. He's just letting his avatar sit. And he's abandoning his bot. Okay, well, never mind. I was going to say he's abandoning his bot font, but nah, he's not that crazy yet. Yeah, like Karmavore is doing just fine. Like, so we could maybe see a price of victory into ret for game here. Actually, this will be the first time in a while that, like, if it does happen, it'll be the first time in a while that we actually see an avatar go pop rather than, someone just surrendering. It's rare that you actually come down to this kind of situation where it's the avatars are both out and one of them actually ends up dying. Usually a player will surrender before that happens. Elven Sky Marshal, my guy. Now, this may seem like troll from Karmavore, but Sky Marshal is actually not that bad. I mean, you're looking at him, like, let's say you're running him in full faction, right? He's 8 speed for 65 Nori. That's pretty good on its own. But, I mean, he's completely vulnerable defensively. But, charge, like, he can hit. Like, Hunter Walker plus charge 3, that's a lot of damage, man. And in under depths, you're getting plus 2 more. This guy is charging for, like, 17 damage. And then he can probably hit a second time, too, with, like, drive around. It's really not that bad. So kudos to Karma for running the Sky Marshal. This used to be complete joke rune, is basically where the humor is coming from. This guy was, like, nothing. But he had this same kit, or at least a very similar kit, back when everything was overpowered and shoebox runes. The distinction between shoebox runes and good runes was a lot wider. But now, when everything is a little more balanced, Sky Marshal actually fits in pretty well. Like, he's just a good, cheap font runner, and he can charge for a bit. So, meanwhile, in Krezio land, he still hasn't used Scythe Whirl. Is it on cooldown? Did he use it before and it's just not up yet? I don't know why he's not trying to find... Like, he could be using his AP to find that Rascal Fairy. I don't know what's stopping him. Okay, here he goes now. He's gonna try. Don't Scythe Whirl up there, my man. Don't waste your time. Scythe Whirl against the font. You have a better chance of finding him that way. Karmavore actually sitting back. I think he hit once last turn with Shadow Master and then just ran. I gotta make sure, because of course Shadow Master has Shadow Strike. Yeah, I mean, like, at this point, Krezio is kind of just throwing his avatar to the wolves. I mean, Karmavore doesn't even need price of victory here. He's actually, wait a minute, Karmavore's running. Why are you running? Why are you running? You have the complete upper hand here. Maybe he's worried about the Reaper's Blade quickening from Krezio. Because I guess if he goes in for a hit and he doesn't kill, then Krezio can just quicken twice on the morph and one-shot his avatar. But I mean, still, like, I think it's been long enough that one quicken is off cooldown, but probably not the second, because Krezio used them on, like, consecutive turns. So Karmavore probably has, like, one good turn when his avatar can combat. I mean, I guess better safe than sorry in this position, right? In your winning position, you probably don't want to throw it away for nothing. And I can respect that, Karmavore wanting to play safe. So the question is, where is old Shadow Master? This messenger was at like 20 HP not too long ago, and now it's at full, thanks to Karmic Reward, which is really nice on a Drive champion, because Drive, of course, has no cooldown, so you can get the max HP every turn. But I want to see Sky Marshal get in there before this game's over. I want to see, he can't charge the avatar, but he can certainly get an attack in. And use his pathetic little body to block. Actually, I shouldn't say that. This guy's pretty ripped. I mean, look at, if you're flying around on shit like this all day, you got to have core strength, man. You got to be hitting the gym. And this guy definitely hits the gym. He's hitting the bench press. He goes to the elven version of LA Fitness. La Elven Fitness, right? So Krezio's getting a hit on the messenger and backing off. He knows he's probably worried about Rhett too, right? Either that or he's worried about Sky Marshal. But man, like his morph has just been sitting there this whole time. Like, do something, man. Do something with your champions. Like he's just he's waiting. He's out of Sky Marshal. Actually, he's not, because Drive can give him the 1 AP. So the KF banner, and I'm thinking if I were smart like Karmavore, I would say the Rascal Fairy is like full AP like right here, because he knocked out the Blood Tracker last turn, right? And if Karmavore is indeed going in for the kill, keeping the Rascal Fairy on this part of the, like this edge of the font would be smarter. Because like he could just move it over and hit the Avatar once, right? So yeah, look at that, 17 fucking damage on the Sky Marshal. Hits the Avatar for 15, and the Shadow Mao is down to 6. Literally any spell will do it. Or yeah, the second Rascal Fairy hit. So Krezio, indecisive at the end, gets his Avatar blown up by Karmavore's KF UD Rogues. Well played both, and we'll see everyone in the next one.